Hey, sup? Just trying to prove I'm not a bot. So, in case you can't tell, there's someone here with me. I don't know who this guy is. He just showed up in my house. He's here.
Yeah, I just broke in. I'm not staying here.
It's true.
Yep.
If we were to turn around the camera, you would actually see kind of what is the semblance of a bed.
Yeah.
But Matthew, I'm hearing rumors we out here in 2019. Can confirm?
It's checking the date. Yeah, 2019.
2019.
We are right here. Yep.
Yes, it's what? It's facts. We are out here in 2019, people. Matthew McFadden is live with it, dude. How are you doing? How was your trip in? How are you feeling? How are things going?
To sum the trip up in 3 words, fuck United Airlines. Scumbags, the lot of them. Every single flight was messed up. But you know what? Since I've been here, it's been absolutely amazing. I tell you what, right? The food. I've doubted what you said about the food, that it's so much better in the UK, but my God, it's amazing.
I told you.
Good.
Listen, I tried telling you food in the United States is 10 times better than it ever was in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed there for a while. Now, granted, I didn't get any home cooking. I will say that. I didn't get any home cooking, so people couldn't make me food. Wink, wink, that United family. Maybe next time I'm over, maybe we get together for a dinner or something like that. But no, genuinely. Hey, what's up, everybody in the chat? Obviously that United family's in here. Max, Mo, Dan. It's great to see you guys.
It's true. It's history in the making.
It is history in the making. You know what? I love it. I'll take any home cooking. It's true. Because the home cooked meal is better than any meal you can ever go get at a restaurant. It's true.
Don't know. The chicken and waffles were quite good. So
but it's made with love, Matthew. It's made with love. So, Matthew, guess why we're here?
Don't know. The Phoenix Rising preview?
No, definitely not a Phoenix Rising preview. We're here to preview Manchester United against Wolverhampton Wanderers, man. A team that last year gave us so many problems.
Yep.
So many problems. And I got to admit, I was actually more worried about the Wolves game than I ever was the Chelsea game.
Yeah.
So, initial thoughts going into this match. By the way, real quick, Rory, good to see you. Sorry you don't have your old account, but it's still good to see you in here. Doug, good to see you. And Pancaz.
He's true.
Good to see
he's
you.
True. 100% true. I have amazing hair.
I don't have any hair, so whatever, no big deal. Yeah. But Matthew, give me your initial thoughts on the game, man.
Yeah, Wolverhampton, they're going to be more of a challenge than Chelsea because, Chelsea, let's face it, had Tammy Abraham up front, who is Dominic Solanke version 2. And we're at home, so, we had that Old Trafford crowd behind us, whereas, Molineux, we went there twice in a week, twice in 10 days, got beat both of them.
Yep.
And it's not even like, it's a couple of dubious decisions. We were just terrible. We should have got beat even more by them. So it's going to be a difficult one, although the last game they played against Leicester and they drew 0-0.
Yes.
Only due to a bit of controversy from VAR because the ball touched Willy Bolly's arm leading to the goal and the ref called it off. I'm not sure if you saw it. It was a stupid decision. Even some players are ranting about it saying, why is that being held back as a goal? But, that's them up against a team that should be on the same sort of level as them. And we're against Chelsea. In the last match, we're against Chelsea, a team that we should be on the same level as. And we've beaten 4-0, whereas Wolverhampton have drawn 0-0.
Yeah.
So, bit of a contrast in terms of how the first game has gone. But to be honest, I don't really see it being quite as bad as it was last year because of the fact that we had Ashley Young at fullback and, getting sent off by Mike Dean, not good enough. Not good enough for the boy. But yeah, I'd say it's going to be not easier because I don't think it'll be easy whatsoever, but, less tough.
Yes, I do think that Wolves are still going to be a massive test for us. There really is no denying that. Honestly, like Mo said, second season into the Premier League, they also are in the Europa League.
Yep.
They're going to be going through a lot this season, and I think that Wolves will struggle because of that. Paul, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Carl, good to see you as well. Carl Brown. But Dan said this is a massive test as to how far we've come since last season we played them, which, Dan, you're absolutely right. This is a massive test because we all saw what happened against Wolves last year. It seemed like we couldn't get up and running last year against Wolves. Like you said, in our home game.
Even the home game, yeah.
Yeah, even our home game, we couldn't really get up and running against them. And then our away games against them, both in the FA Cup and in the league, I was honestly I think that the league game was slightly better than the FA Cup game, if I remember correctly. Because I think the FA Cup we got beat, I think 3-1 or something like that.
I think they were the same results, but the FA Cup game, it was just a worse performance.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. But just either way, it's just I expect this game to be played a lot differently.
Yep.
I'm not necessarily expecting a mix-up in formation.
No.
I'm not even necessarily expecting a mix-up in the team. Like
I know that
I've seen Ollie come out in his press conference, and he talked about the possibility of Dan James possibly playing and starting from the beginning of the match.
No.
I personally think that if we are going to play Dan James, especially early in the season, let him kind of just ease into it. Let that super sub stuff just flow.
Yep.
Let it flow, because the kid is electric off of the bench. And I think he actually clocked the fastest run in the Premier League.
I think, yeah. I don't know about this week, but I know that he was like the fastest player in Europe or something. Last year or something like that.
I know last year in Europe he was, but I actually think that he did run the fastest run in the Premier League last week.
Seemed like it for that fourth goal.
Yeah. I see you smiling, Matthew. Wolves made 11 changes to their squad yesterday for the Europa League game. Last night, they still won 4-0. I mean, Doug, the thing is with Wolves is that I actually think that their struggle will come in once the season goes on a little bit.
Yep.
I think that at the beginning of the season, I think that they're going to kind of continue to ride high. But listen, I'm actually going to predict a very tough match for us. This isn't going to be an easy one. I think that we'll actually be lucky. I'll be honest, with Wolves, the way we played them last year, I would be happy coming out of this match with a draw as long as we played better than last year.
Yeah. A draw wouldn't be the worst result in the world, but just given how we beat Chelsea, like the fact that we got so much confidence now and the new signings put in absolutely perfect shifts, I'd say it's not a must win, but I'd only really be happy with a win.
No, and listen, I would basically only be truly happy with a win, but I think that the best way to put it is I would accept a draw after the results we had at the Molineux last year. It just was not a good place for us to go play. Watching Sky Sports today, Sky Sports pundits saying bad stuff about Harry Maguire. Listen, they're idiots. They're just jealous that they couldn't get Harry Maguire. Nicholas. Yeah, no, they just are jealous. They cannot get. They couldn't get Harry. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. They're jealous they couldn't get him. Doug did say Adama Traore is a speed merchant. His end product is very poor. Which, listen, that's exactly it. That's the reason why he comes off the bench, because he brings electricity to the team. It's not necessarily brings an end product to the team. Gives us a boost for Dan to be super sub. I agree with you. Thank you, Carl. I think that Dan James is going to be at his most effective as a super sub this year. Let's see. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything else. I'd take a draw. We've got West Ham and Southampton after. I think games we should win comfortably on paper. And Dan, yeah, no, exactly. I think that Wolves is a game that we should win. If you put down to history, we should win that game.
Yep.
We should actually win our next 3 games as well. Like these next 3 games, we should win. We've got Palace coming up. Palace is a very winnable game, especially now that they don't have, their best defender.
True.
True.
Yep.
But Matthew, we're talking about, Wolves here. Who are some people that you're worried about after getting to watch them a full season last year in the Premier League?
There's one guy who we've talked about nonstop.
Just a couple times. Just a couple.
Yeah. I don't even need to say Neves' name. But no, to be fair, I didn't hear much about him last season, but I think he was just sort of that player who was quietly getting everything done.
Yep.
As opposed to, scoring screamers every 3 weeks in the Championship. So, he's still an absolute dangerman. And the whole midfield, they've got Moutinho as well, veteran midfielder, who's been at the highest level. They got Dendoncker as well, who's more of a defensive-minded midfielder. He seems to be, doing pretty well. It's actually his goal that got disallowed. It was from a corner, so he has a bit of a set-piece threat there. And I think it'll be a little bit easier this game in terms of defending, because quite often you saw Chelsea getting their left winger and left back on the right side, and then the same for the other side as well. Whereas they go with a 5-3-2 formation, so they don't really use wide attackers. They just rely on Johnny and Matt Doherty to just constantly go up and down the pitch.
Yeah, that is true.
Over again. So, in terms of strikers or wide forwards, they should find it a little bit easier and a little bit easier to exploit the space. But in terms of more Wolverhampton players, Raul Jimenez,
that's
got something like 17 goals last season in all competitions on his first ever season in English football. I mean, that's pretty damn good for a team that's not in the top 4. The defenders as well are really good. Johnny Otto on the left-hand side, Matt Doherty on the right-hand side, always getting forwards, chips in with a few goals. And then Willie Bolly as well. Connor Cody is the captain. Like, they're just a well-oiled machine. But the issue with them is they've got no squad depth. They've got absolutely no squad depth whatsoever. I think they must have like 17 senior players in the team, which is absolutely abysmal for a team who are wanting to go into the Europa League and actually do something in there. So I worry about them in that front, but providing they've got everyone fit, then they do have quite a few danger men.
Yeah, no, they do have a decent, not even decent, they have a good first team. I mean, they basically, what they need to work on as a team is being able to beat the people in the bottom 6 rather than the top 6, because they owned the top 6 last year.
They actually lost to Huddersfield twice last season.
Which Catfish Billy. You know what? You calm down over there. You calm down over there, okay? We all know Phoenix Rising, greatest soccer club in the USL. Let's see here. I saw a comment here that I wanted to. So Pogboom, it was Pogboom that said, "Don't see Wolves scoring. Their attack is meh." So the thing is that now I look at our defense.
Yep.
I look at who we've got to go against them. And I actually don't necessarily fully disagree with Pogboom. I think that their attack is going to have a harder time scoring against us. We saw what Harry Maguire did. We saw Aaron Wan-Bissaka literally almost never let anyone past him ever. And that side was the side that got torn up against us by Diogo Jota. It was a tough go for Ashley Young last year. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is not going to let that happen. Aaron will not let that happen. I can guarantee that.
I don't think it's a case of their attack is shit. I think we'll make their attack look shit.
No,
because our defending is just too good.
Yeah, and that's what I think it comes down to. Is I think is our defending. I'm not saying we won't even necessarily give up a goal. Like I think there is a possibility we could give up a goal, but I think overall, I look at what we can do, because now we're the team that can also just hit right back out on the counter. And we hit on the counter effectively.
Oh, yeah.
And when I saw that game against Chelsea and I saw what we were kind of trying to do, we didn't dominate the possession by any means. And at Old Trafford, that is weird for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But nevertheless, we will probably dominate possession in this game. I'd say probably it'll be about 60-40 for United. But I think it will be – I actually just realized I didn't even bother talking about who I think are the danger men. I mean, Ruben Neves is an obvious one. But – I look at, Diogo Jota and João Moutinho. And those two guys are people that gave us loads of problems last year. Raul Jimenez really didn't give us many problems last year.
I think he only scored 1 goal.
Yeah.
But it was mainly Jota that was on the counter-attack.
Yeah, Jota was the one that gave us a lot of problems, and that all came from Ashley Young's side.
Yep.
All of it came from Ashley Young's side. So that's where we needed to improve. And right there, having Aaron Wan-Bissaka that can stop the guy that's going to be going down his wing. No matter where he's at on the pitch, he is going to catch up to him.
Yep.
He is going to catch up to them, and he's not going to let the ball get past him. Jota did knock us out of the FA Cup, Dan. That's exactly it. Our defense is stronger this season, and De Gea will have a great season this time. I actually agree. What stops Wolves from man-marking Pogba, then our attack will be starved because Pereira isn't very creative IMO. So I think we're going to get a draw 1-1. Pogba, I mean, honestly, that is something that could happen. And I kind of think that of any draw scenario, 1-1 is the draw scenario I see as most likely, because Wolves' defense is very solid. The one thing I think we can all say is that they do compact the box, and then they hit out on the break fast and with efficiency. That's what they do. That's how they beat everybody in the top 6 last year. And it's something that's actually impressive to see how well they're able to just go defense, midfield, attack like that.
And you'll see a lot of United goals seen in pre-season in the first game. Quite a few of them actually came from counter-attacks. So it's a case of one team is going to have to switch up their style in order to actually get something, because it can't just be counter-attack followed by another counter-attack and so on and so on. Like, one team is going to have to say, right, we'll keep the ball for a bit, try and break down the defense. If not, then we're going to have to defend even more now. So it should be interesting to see two teams of a kind of similar style going at each other.
See, the thing that I worry about in this game is I actually worry about it wind up being like a 50-50 split of possession because they're both scared to attack at each other.
Yeah.
That's what I'm afraid of, because I could also see a 0-0 happening because literally both teams are afraid to get too far forward.
Yeah.
In both senses. Like both teams will try and head out on the break, and I think we'll see a couple of decent chances, but both teams are going to be, I think it'll be, especially early on in the match, I think it's going to be like the standard boxing match. You guys are going to be feeling each other out, throwing their jabs, seeing how far their jabs are going to reach. And then from there, we might see the game start to open up a bit. But I think that first 15, 20 minutes is really going to be telling of how this game is going to go.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. Dugout said, Charlie Nicholas said, I quote, I'm not going to, oh, yeah. Listen, Doug, you as a Liverpool fan, you know how good Aaron Wan-Bissaka is. There's no denying it. They're an idiot. If Charlie Nicholas is an idiot.
This is the same Charlie Nicholas who 3 years ago predicted that Theo Walcott would win the Golden Boot.
Yeah.
You should be sacked for life for that. You don't deserve equal rights.
Our defense is one of the best in Europe now. We'll have a good time. Yeah, Rory, I agree with you. I think that our defense is one of the best in Europe. I mean, I think they've got to prove it a little bit more before I could say that. But I think on paper, you look at our defense now, and I think it is one of the best in Europe. Pancakes, I agree. I do think that Wolves are going to be very, very tough. Green Devils, Jim Shady, good to see you, man. We'll be here with you for watch along. So Pancakes, we actually will not be going live immediately after it, most likely.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there is the possibility because we don't fully know what we're going to be doing on Monday. So there's a possibility we might go watch the match with the Phoenix Red Devils. You can see the flag here. But there's also the possibility we might stay here because our weekend is jam-packed. We're going to the Grand Canyon. We're going to Antelope Canyon. We're going to Sedona. We're going to Horseshoe Bend. We're going to visit a lot of stuff over the weekend. So there's about a 99% possibility we could be dead on Monday.
No, I will. I'll just die because of heat.
Well, that's because, Scotland, no such thing as actual heat. I was born in this shit.
It's true.
It's true.
I was going to try and dispute that, but no.
I'm going to go for a 2-1 win, but a poor showing. I mean, Jim, I actually don't fully disagree with that scoreline because that's actually the scoreline I'm going to go with. But I think this is going to be a very tough game. It's going to be very tough. And I got to keep emphasizing that because I think it's going to be tough. Wolves are a tough opponent for anybody that is in the top six that goes against them. Because I think that of either team that's going to have to change up their style, it's going to be United that's going to have to change up their style. Because I don't think that Wolves are as confident as us to change up their style.
If it was at Old Trafford, I'd say otherwise. But because it's at Molineux and they've got that specific style that they're not going to change from, I think we are going to have to kind of change things up a bit.
Possibly, yeah.
We've got players in our team that are capable of all styles of football. Like you've got, Daniel James, for example, coming off the bench, counter-attacks.
Yeah.
He's absolutely lethal from them, as we saw against Chelsea.
Yep.
But you got Pogba. You got players like Pogba or, Pereira, who seem to be more of a possession-oriented players. So I think it depends on what style they go for. But I think we've kind of got ourselves comfortably prepared for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, exactly. And Rory, just so you know, the game is at the Molineux, so it's at Wolves. Jota and Jimenez duo needs to be shut down. Those 1-2s were best in the league last year. Yeah, Vandy, no, that's absolutely true. Hydrate yourself if it's too hot.
I couldn't take any over. And that pissed me off.
Oh, man, that's funny. And Pogba, I agree. I think that it is all about an early goal.
Yep.
I think if United come out and get that early goal, I think that you'll see us kind of be able to run our style more. Our style we want to hit on the counter. And then I could see us, especially if we get an early goal, I could see a scoreline of like 3-4-0, kind of a similar to Chelsea kind of scoreline. Because that early goal, I mean, we could sit back a little bit further and then just bam, hit out on that counter. Because with Martial and Rashford being able to hit out on that counter, oof, I like it. As we score, we'll be on point like Chelsea. We are confident then. No, and Rory, that's exactly it. So what if we beat Wolves 4-0? Pancas, we're going to win the league if we beat Wolves 4-0.
Yep.
We're going to win the league.
We'll celebrate.
We'll start. We might as well just hand us the Premier League trophy because it's guaranteed.
Just bring it here.
Just bring it right here. We'll set it right here. It'll be about
yay high.
Yay high. It'll be about yay high somewhere in there, I think. He played Molyneux. They play scares. Yeah, Rory. It is not an easy place to go play. That's for sure. I think we'll try and blitz them and have a fast attack. We are a very different outfit than last, even if we are a bit naive in possession. Yeah. Green Devil. That's actually a pretty spot on analysis there.
Yep.
I mean, I think that the attack that we're seeing this season is very different because now we can actually go ahead and get into talking about Manchester United and what looks like our danger men. Because I actually think that we have a few people to talk about now, unlike last season, because instantly the two people you got to talk about in our defense is Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire.
Yep.
Nobody gets past the Great Wall of Aaron.
I thought you were going to say the Great Wall of Forehead there.
I mean, we could do the Great Wall of Forehead.
Mm-hmm.
We could do either or. I mean, in fairness, with the way he has his hair pulled back, he has a pretty big forehead too.
Exactly.
So you know what?
FC,
we are
on board with it.
Yeah, Forehead FC in full effect.
I should be the mascot.
Damn it! Just why is this not a fact?
It's not.
I don't know.
It's just not there.
But great battering ram.
It's like that gif of someone headbutting a wrecking ball.
Yep.
Like that's me.
That's Chuck Liddell.
Just me.
Yeah, just bam. No, but I actually think that those two are very, very important in this game. And I think that they're two people that, they're going to have to pay attention. They're going to have to worry about those two guys. And they're going to probably try and focus on our right-hand side. And their right-hand side is not as effective as their left-hand side.
Yep.
It's just not. Matthew, you missed a trick going for FC for your fantasy football name. Do you guys think that Sanchez will be on the bench due to Ollie saying Sanchez will have an important role in the squad and play more than fans think in the press conference? So listen, Pogboom, I'll let Matthew talk about this here in just a second, but I ultimately think Ollie is just putting on the nice guy act.
Yep.
I do not think for 1 second that Alexis Sanchez is good because basically fans are expecting him to play 0 times.
Yeah.
So if he plays 1 time, that will be more than fans expect. So
if this was last season, then I think, you put him on the bench because he seemed to be a bit more lenient in terms of giving the old guys playing time.
Yep.
But this season, we've seen it. He's playing Dan James. He's playing Wan-Bissaka over Ashley Young. He's playing those players that actually suit the system and who are young as well.
Yep.
So he's definitely not going to be a starter. He might be on the bench, but I wouldn't really expect, 40, 50 games a season from him.
No. I ultimately think that he is going to be sold. I think that he will be sold in this summer. I think that we've still got quite a few days left before the window closes.
I kind of hope not this summer, though, because we can't bring in anyone.
Oh, I don't care.
But yeah,
I'll play Tahith Chong, Angel Gomez, and Mason Greenwood over Alexis Sanchez all day long. And I think that most people in the chat would agree with that.
Yeah.
Would you take Mata off the bench for Sanchez? No. That's a no. I at least Juan Mata is still a threat from set pieces and can still pick a pass like no one else.
And at least he's proven to be a good number 10.
Yes.
Especially when we're using that new formation where Sanchez, people are saying, oh yeah, put him in the number 10, put him up front. And I've been saying that as well. But he's not really proven there recently. He's either a left winger or a sort of second striker. He's not really that player who's going to be putting in the killer balls because we've seen it so many times. He'll just get the ball, look up, and then chip.
Yeah.
And it never works.
No, exactly. And actually, Pancras has a good point. Could be right. He said Sanchez could be in the Europa League games. And that is a possibility. I could say that. That is a possibility that he may be our guy in the Europa League games. But
could be.
Ultimately, we don't know what these Europa League games are going to look like because we don't know if Ollie's going to even prioritize the Europa League. We don't even know
the draw yet.
Yeah, we don't know the draw yet. We don't know anything. I'm really eager to fit Sanchez under Ollie. He's been plagued with injuries since Ollie took over, and under Jose, it was crap, wishful thinking. I mean, Green Devils, listen, I do think that it's a bit of wishful thinking. I think both Matthew and I would agree that we want Sanchez to be good.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted him to fail. No, if you wanted him to fail, you're a monster, or you're an Arsenal fan, one or the other. But
like I remember when he signed, that video came out, the Piano FC thing.
Yep.
And everyone was just so gassed, thinking, "Oh my God, we got Sanchez. We're gonna actually do bits now." Compare that to even half a year later, and we're thinking, "What the fucking hell we bought here?"
Yep. We're all thinking, "Can we get Mickey back, please?"
Yeah. and even Mickey was shit at Arsenal.
Sanchez lost the other place, so he's pretty much done.
Yeah.
And Pogba, that's kind of what I think we think.
See, if it was like 5 years ago and he was, like 26, 27, I think, oh yeah, fair enough, he could maybe do it again. But because he's in that phase where you're starting to lose at yard of pace, that naturally at that age, he's barely had a preseason. For me, I think he's just a Chilean Wayne Rooney.
Yep.
And that he'll decline, he'll get such a sharp decline, and he'll never return from that. Or at least at the top level.
Because the thing is with veteran players, especially once they get to a point where they're past their prime, they'll always pop up with the odd game where they just turn into their old selves.
And then people will think that means that they can do it week in, week out.
Yep. And the thing is they just can't.
Yeah.
Like they just can't. I mean, there's a player in the NBA that did this all the time in Vince Carter. Vince Carter, towards the end of his career, would manage to always pop up with this game that he would take over the game, score 30, 40 points in the game, and just look like the absolute monster that he was. But then in the very next game, just he was nothing. He was nothing because players will just all of a sudden have it turn on that everything that Vinsanity, man, Mo. But it's a pretty good comparison, you have to admit, because I just think that Alexis Sanchez, all you're going to get out of him is the odd game where he'll all of a sudden pop up with a good performance. It's almost. I mean, not that Jesse Lingard is, anybody I want to try and talk crap about, because I think that Jesse playing in this system is okay. But Jesse definitely isn't the guy that I'm like, oh, yeah, we could definitely count on him for X amount of goals in a season.
I think Lingard fits into a system more. Like, he doesn't do a great deal on the ball, but off the ball, considering him going for that high press play, there's very few sort of number 10s, if you like, that are better at pressing than Jesse Lingard. So he's far better. And you see with Alexis Sanchez, people are calling him tenacious and stuff. It's not a case of he is tenacious, he was tenacious. Like I said, the whole age thing. This is him losing a yard of pace and being in 2 years of bad form. He's not going to suddenly turn into, N'Golo Kante on steroids here.
No.
He's going to be a shit version of Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. So Doug said worst number 7 at United. I mean, talking about Sanchez. Listen, I mean, there's a few different people. Like I saw Dan said Michael Owen, and then Sanchez.
At least he scored a good goal against City.
That is true.
In the very last seconds.
And then the other guy I think about, as much as I didn't want to wish him, another guy that at this point I would actually take him back over is Memphis Depay. Yeah. Memphis Depay is the number 7. Like, he was pretty bad. You got to admit he was pretty bad. Yeah. But I think that overall, in terms of expectation to reality, I would say Sanchez was probably the worst number 7.
Yeah.
Because Alexis Sanchez was brought in to be this world-class player.
I'd go one step further and say a worst signing. Full stop. When you compare expectations to how they turned out. Like, you can talk about guys like Bebe and that. Like, yeah, fair, they're terrible. But like I said, when the signing came out, we saw the video and stuff, we were thinking, oh my God, he's going to be amazing. And he's not even had one good 90 minutes. Yeah. People talk about his best moments, and it's one cross against Tottenham.
Or the couple of assists against City.
And that header.
And the header against Newcastle. Yep. Like, those are the moments I can think of. That's it.
Those are 3-second moments.
Yeah.
He was very accurate with his passing the whole game. He was getting past people throughout the 90 minutes. It's just little 5-second moments. And for 450 grand a week or whatever he's on, it's stupid.
So Pogba, you made me laugh just because the number 7 curse. It reminds me of baseball, the Babe Ruth curse for the Boston Red Sox. That after they traded Babe Ruth to the New York Yankees, they could never win a championship. They would always get so close, and all of a sudden they would just falter at the end. Matthew could see it here. I've got a poster over here about it, or a picture about it. Yeah. It's one of those things that the number 7, I think, might be cursed. It's something that does worry me a little bit.
Could you imagine if we send a Brazilian number 7?
Nope.
how terrible he would be.
No, or maybe it would just
Maybe
be
it switched
so
events.
crazy that
Then
it
turns
just
into
might
a world
work.
beater.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh man, we've solved it.
So
Solved
just try
it.
it for experimentational purposes.
Yes.
Good.
Yes. So just give it to Fred.
Good.
There we go. Solved it.
Fred,
Done.
Jesus Christ.
No, I don't want Fred playing. I'm sorry, guys. Memphis never really got his chances, though. He got left out of the team most of the time towards the end of under LVG, and Mourinho barely played him at all. No, Dan, that's a fantastic point. Neymar on loan.
If we say Neymar, I'm committing suicide.
No, thank you. You know what, Carl Brown, that actually is a pretty good one, too. Di Maria was a pretty bad number 7 as well.
Di Maria didn't have too bad of a season. It's just the fact that he didn't really want to go to United and he left the next summer. Like, he should have got maybe 1 or 2 more goals, but in terms of his numbers, he was like second top assists in the Premier League. Like, his season wasn't terrible, but it wasn't amazing. It's just the fact that, he had those issues with the house getting burgled and then getting sold right after. The fact that he's a bit of a snake that people are obviously thinking, yeah, he's terrible signing.
He's a snake. Let's be real. Max, it is good to see you as well. I noticed you kind of went away for a second there, but so Mike said Depay wasn't really suited to play in the PL at the time. Yeah, and I actually agree with that. Pancakes, I agree. I think that's basically what we've agreed on. Green Devil said Arsenal and Man United got 2 bad deals there. Mickey hasn't been up to much either. The most pointless swap in football. Yeah, actually, it's not completely false. So Matthew, let's go ahead. We're 30 minutes in. I think it's kind of time to start going down the road of wrapping it up a little bit. When we're doing teams, Rory, we're literally just about to do them. So go ahead and let's go through this starting 11. What we think we're going to get together. So obviously, once again, guys, we're going to say Lee Grant's going to start every week, week in, week out. Greatest football player to ever live, Lee Grant. No,
Lee Grant for number 7.
Change
my mind.
Lee Grant number 7. You know what? I think that wouldn't be fair to football.
That's true.
That wouldn't be fair to football. But no, seriously, De Gea in goal. That's pretty obvious. Right wing.
Right back.
Right wing. Right back. Same thing. But right back. I mean, I think Ashley Young probably. Yeah. Definitely Ashley Young.
I'd say left back.
Left back Ashley Young. No, I like it. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is there for forever. I just permanently pencil him in right back, even when he loses a leg. Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back.
That's it. In the changing room, see when the manager puts on the starting 11 and he uses marker pens.
Yep.
With Aaron Wan-Bissaka, just use permanent marker.
Yep, just permanent marker. It's guaranteed.
Him.
Yeah. Lingard must be wearing the number 7 in secret for years. Honestly, I don't doubt that. Guys, you know what? I honestly don't know. I'm not going to say he can't, but based on last season, he had a mixed bag at left back. He definitely had a mixed bag at left back.
He played left back for Porto, I think.
Yes.
And then got an assist against Fulham. Not against Fulham, some of the dead team like that, when he played left back. So he's not terrible there, but prefer to see him on the right-hand side.
Yes. No, he is definitely more of a right-hand natural.
That's Delo, by the way, in case we didn't mention.
Yeah, Delo. Sorry, guys. Delo was the guy that we were talking about. Brilliant to see Matthew on. How are you enjoying the U.S.?
Oh, mate, it's so good.
Yeah, George, it's the USA. I mean, it's the greatest country in the world. So, I mean, greatest meme president in the world as well. Meme president. I'm saying that just so you guys don't get it twisted. Greatest meme president we've ever had in history. I think it's going to be the same team as Chelsea. And honestly, I think that might be what we wind up going with. Green Devil, be eager to see how Delo plays at left back, a right-footed left back like Irwin was. Yeah. No, I actually would be interested in seeing that as well. But let's go ahead. Center back partnership. Obviously, Lindelof and Maguire. I'm not going to fuck about with that one.
No means.
No, Harry Maguire is a revelation at center back. Having him being able to pair with Victor Lindelof is the best thing that has happened to Manchester United in a very, very long time. Left back, I think it's going to be Luke Shaw. I don't think that's going to change yet.
Like, he wasn't great against Chelsea, but I wouldn't really change the team.
No,
to be honest.
New Trafford being built in America. You know what? Maybe that's what we'll call the new Phoenix Rising Stadium.
We should campaign to do that.
New Trafford.
Yeah.
Then Matthew needs a coaster for his drink. I mean, yeah.
Phoenix Rising coaster. That's what I need.
That's true.
It's true.
So midfield 2. I think we're going to see Pogba and McTominay again. I don't think that's going to mix up.
It's kind of a decent balance in midfield because you got McTominay as a sort of ball winner or box-to-box midfielder, and then Pogba is just going to be pinging passes left, right, and centre. So, worked against Chelsea, going to work against Wolves again.
Yeah, exactly. Now, this is where I think of the 4-2-3-1 that we're going to be talking about. I think this is where we could see the mix-up happen because Ollie has come out and said that Jesse Lingard is instrumental to what he wants to do. And when Jesse moved to the 10 in this game against Chelsea, he became so much more effective at what he was doing. Pankaj, have a good night, man. I know it's late over there in India, man. Let's see here. Not sure whether you have talked about Sanchez's comments about Ollie.
Yeah,
yes, George, we did.
It was right before you came in as well.
It was almost right before you came on. But the number 10 spot, and we'll talk about that first because I think that we're likely not going to see a mix-up yet.
Nope.
But I could see Lingard starting at the 10. And then Dan James getting to start on the right. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm just saying I could see that being the case.
I think he should because, like, over the last couple of years, that particular role has kind of changed. It used to be, someone who's going to set up goals, and that would be pretty much exclusively be their job. But now that football's more sort of pressing orientated, as mediocre on the ball as Jesse Lingard is, you kind of need him in the team.
Yeah,
you kind of need him as that, in some regards, like a false 10, not like a playmaker, but a pressing 10, if you like.
No, Carl, you're speaking facts here, man. Why does Donald Trump need a wall when he could just have United's defense? Yeah. Just all he needs is Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
How much does the wall cost?
I don't think there's a set amount. I think it's like $1 billion or something.
Well, Harry Maguire, 80 million quid. Easy.
Yeah, 80. No big deal.
It's the greatest trade deal in history. In the word of Big Donny.
Would you start Fred? No, Doug, not Fred yet. Not yet. I think that McTominay had a solid game, and it's somebody that you can't take out of the squad yet. And in the 4-2-3-1, Fred is going to pair in the midfield too. He's not going to play at the 10. Nope. He's just not. I like Pereira Lingard interchange. Yeah, Pogba, I actually agree with you. I didn't mind the interchange. And ultimately, I'm going to predict that it's going to be Pereira at the 10, then Martial left, Lingard right, and then Rashford up top. That's what I'm going to predict.
I'm going to guess different and say Lingard at the 10. Because I don't know if that was the case of they were purposely interchanging or Ole just saw, all right, this isn't working out, we got to change it. Because towards the second half, you saw more of a permanent position for Pereira and Lingard. Like, they still occasionally switch rounds, but it was more focused on Pereira playing on the right, Lingard playing in the middle. So, preferably, I'd kind of see that. Yeah. But if you're mixing it up, then it gives, opposition defenders a bit of a, something to actually think about.
Well, and something that I did just think about is because, like you did mention, I think that Wolves will be the ones that will kind of wind up having the possession.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, if we're going to be trying to hit out on the counter, I could see the potential for Lingard to start at the 10 and then Dan James be on that right wing because of how effective that counter works. But ultimately, for now, I think that we'll see Lingard. And I'll go ahead and agree with you. I'll say Lingard will probably be at the 10.
Yeah.
But the right wing spot is really genuinely the 10 and right wing are the two positions at Manchester United right now that are there for the taking for people. If somebody comes out and has a great performance in either one of those two spots, I think that they're going to get a good run. But right now, I think that we're going to see Lingard at the 10 and then Pereira on that right-hand side.
And I hope it's that as well.
And now, what I hope is that...
Apart from the obvious Greenwood.
That Mason Greenwood gets to start on that right-hand side. Because I think that would be truly effective because you can see what Mason does when he comes in and starts pressing on that right wing. Right wing is being held for Sancho. George, I ultimately agree with you.
Hope so.
I think that is what United are hoping for.
Agent Stanton Dave at it again.
So, guys, real quick, while we're continuing to talk, if you want to get in your starting 11s for us to read out, get them in now, and we'll read them out for you. Because I did just see Rory post De Gea, Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, McTominay, Pereira, Martial, Rashford, Pogba, James as the starting 11.
James on the right then?
James on the right, Pogba at the 10 then.
I think also on the point about Jesse Lingard, considering who they've got in central midfield area, Ruben Neves, someone who is going to get the ball and keep playing passes, having that pressing 10 is just going to try and cancel him out of the game.
Yeah.
So he's probably even more important there than he was against Chelsea.
No, oh yeah, no, absolutely. I think that Jesse at the 10 in a game like this, especially because we ultimately don't know what's going to happen. I'm actually going to say that. We don't know if Wolves are going to try and hold possession or if they're going to try and hit us out on the counter because we don't know how teams view us yet.
Part of me sort of thinks, you know what, it was successful last season. They've got relatively the same squad. Why not do it again?
I mean, Green Devil, you're just speaking our language. What we wouldn't give for to have Ruben Neves at Manchester United. And I actually view him as a Pogba replacement. You got a guy that could do very similar things, can play those long passes, can take those long shots, can go at a set piece.
Yep. He's sort of like a deeper version of Pogba.
Yeah, exactly. And in a 4-2-3-1, he would make sense in that role.
Mm-hmm.
So, bam. Speaking facts on the Red Bearded Red Show.
Dealing facts.
We only deal in facts. Great show, guys. Keep it up. Have a great weekend. Come on, United. Let's beat Wolves. Don't change a winning lineup. Carl, I ultimately hope that's the case too.
Yep.
Dan said De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, McTominay, Pogba, Lingard, James, Rashford, Martial. Now, I will emphasize, I would not mind seeing Dan James start in this game. And Ollie did kind of mention it in his press conference. He did mention that he has the Dan James who could start on that right-hand side. And I could see that in a game like this.
I wouldn't start him, though.
It's the same I wouldn't either because I think Super Sub is where he belongs right now.
See if you cast your mind back to 2 years ago where we were 4-0 FC. We always had the same plan. It would be Rashford starting on the left wing. With his work rate, he's running up and down the pitch all the time. And then you bring on Martial in the 70th minute to pretty much just put the final nail in the coffin of those tired defenders. Same thing with James.
Yep.
I don't get the point. Just because he scored a goal, and that's great, and we're all happy for him, doesn't mean he should start, though. It's the same sort of thing with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in some regards, because so many of his goals came off the bench that you think, why change that if he's so effective in that role?
Exactly. So George Kyle said, you see Pogba play CDM, but wanting more attacking role for me. No, and Rory, I wouldn't mind Pogba having a more attacking role, but he certainly is effective in a midfield too, like that.
I think I've forgotten where I saw it, but it was something basically explaining why he works so well a little bit deeper. I think it's because they usually play a more defensive player in the midfield to try and counter Pogba out of the game. And if he's playing deeper, then that man marker is going to have to go further forward.
Yep.
Therefore, you're leaving spaces in behind for guys like Lingard and Pereira to interchange and run. So
exactly.
Kind of works out.
So George is saying De Gea, Wan-Bissaka. Basically, he went with the same lineup as Dan. So De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, McTominay, Pogba, Lingard, James, Rashford, Martial. Green Devils said De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw, Pogba, McTominay, Mata to dictate the pace and maintain possession. Rashford, Martial, Lingard. It's not a bad one. I actually wouldn't mind seeing that. Greenwood should be the nail. And George, I think that Greenwood could be the nail in the coffin in this game.
I hope so. De Gea, Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw, McTominay, Pogba as the DMs, Lingard at 10, Pereira, Martial, Rashford, Pogba. Exactly. I think that's a pretty similar to what we're thinking. Same lineup.
The thing is, Pepe cost $72 million, and he was on the bench. Well done, Arsenal Banter FC. Yeah, no, listen. Pepe's going to take time to adjust to the Prem. Yeah. I'm not going to say he's going to be a flop because I don't know, but ultimately, I can't wait to see what the starting 11 is going to be, and then once again, what the bench is going to be.
Yeah,
because based on what we saw last week, seeing Tuanzebe get on the bench, seeing Dan James and Greenwood on the bench,
that was refreshing too.
Yeah,
Tuanzebe, because we talk about the fact that Ole seems to have this obsession with the English defenders, about Jones and Smalling, but they were nowhere to be found in the squad.
Nope.
It's not even a case of he just changed his starting 11 up and he, could have reverted back to his usual suspects like Matic, Smalling, Jones, had things gone wrong, but he didn't. Yep. He had the confidence in those players like Dan James and Tuanzebe and those sorts of guys to actually come on and see things out.
Yeah, definitely. And Doug, he just asked, can you see Tuanzebe starting? And when people have talked about the possibility of doing a 3-5-2 in a game like this, I could see that. I could see Tuanzebe being in the game. And then Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw is the wing backs. And then you obviously have your midfield three that would be what we've already been talking about. Yep. But in that case, I would say you're not going to have Pereira in that game. And then you'll have Tuanzebe instead of Pereira as a center back.
Yeah.
And then you'll have Lingard playing at the 10 with Martial and Rashford, the two strikers.
I mean, it could work out, but I wouldn't change anything.
I wouldn't change anything yet either. George Kyle said when Pogba was at Juve, he had Pirlo as the ultimate deep line playmaker. McSauce isn't there yet. And George, you are spot on with that. I mean, there's a reason why we're not hailing McTominay as the next great thing yet. We're both cautiously optimistic.
Yep. It's like he's done well in preseason.
And he did well in the first game.
And he's kind of doubted a few of us, including me, who's slated him on Twitter in the past.
Yep.
But he's not there yet. People mistake one good preseason and a few good games here and there for making it. Making it is performing consistently for a few years and establishing yourself in that starting midfield, no matter who comes in.
Exactly. So last but not least, Matthew and everybody, get your scores in now. Once again, we'll read them out here. But Matthew, give me what you're going to be your score prediction so we could wrap this up. And how do you think the match will play out?
You know what, Andrew? It's 2019. We only deal in facts.
We do only deal in facts.
3-1.
3-1. Holy shit.
3-1. We're gonna beat them 3-1. Easy.
Easy peasy. Easy clap. Easy clap.
That was synchronized. Love it.
Yes. Listen, I can't be that optimistic, especially after how well Wolves played against us last year.
Yeah.
We didn't beat Wolves once last year.
It's true.
We're playing them at the Molineux where we got beat twice last year. I'm nervous about that. But the way that this team looks and the way that this team has lined up so far, both in preseason and in our first game, I think that we are seeing a different United team come forward. I ultimately think we're going to win this game. I think it's going to be a 2-1.
Yep.
And I think Mason Greenwood gets the game-winning goal.
The fairy tale result.
Mason Greenwood gets the game-winning goal. But 2-1 is what my prediction is. It's going to be a tough one. It is going to be a very tough game. And I don't think by any means we're going to come out of this game and be like, man, we took it to Wolves. We really did. I don't see that happening.
I think it'll be kind of similar to the Chelsea game where we'll just get a couple of sucker punches. Like it'll be a sort of, scrappy game here and there, and then one ball from Pogba or one run from an attacking player, and that's it.
Yep.
Down and out. And I think that'll happen a couple of times.
So let's see here. Paul Bloom is saying 3-0 United. Dan James saying 2-0 United. George is saying that he fears a draw. Mo is saying, start young. No. Doug is saying 2-1 United. Max is saying 2-1 United. It was brilliant not to see Ashley Young in the starting lineup. Playing youth is the way forward. Remember Alan Hansen comment, you don't win anything with the kids. No, and obviously that's not true at all. Let's see here. The bus is solid as titanium. Yes, that bus is solid as titanium. The Wolves are about to be slaughtered by the Red Devils. You know what, Pogboom? I hope so. I really do. Carl Brown, 2-1 United. Green Devils is saying 2-1, but a poor showing. A Maguire header and a Martial clinic. Boom.
If Maguire scores a goal, I'll tell you what, I'll be all over it. FT is going to go nuts.
Yep.
When he gets his first goal, it's just going to be Maguire FC all over the place.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to love every minute of it.
Yep. Well, I mean, the forehead just speaks for itself.
Exactly.
So, George Kyle is going 1-1, which honestly, like I said, that is a result I think is very, very possible. I would put a draw as the favorite result for this game. Let's see. Mo is saying 4-0 Rashford, 4-0 Martial, Rashford, Maguire, McTominay. Dan Jones just said first U23 goal for Greenwood was at the Molineux. First goal for the first team at the Molineux. No, exactly. Calling my shot. I called it earlier this week on Twitter. I'm sticking to it. Greenwood is getting his first goal against Wolves. I'm calling it. Tommy C said United to win 3-1. By the way, Tommy C, good to see you, man. 3-1 at 22-1 is good enough for me. You know what? Yeah, I'll chip in on that bet.
Yep.
I'll chip in on it. 3-1 at 22-1. Yeah, I'll chip in. I have a question. Would you take a draw? Yeah, Green Devils. Absolutely, I would take a draw. Against. No, you're telling me you would prefer a loss?
No.
Exactly, because the options here are either you win or you draw. We never accept a loss.
A draw, like I said, it's not the worst result.
Yes,
but I think it will leave me a little bit frustrated, considering how amazingly we started.
What I will say is if we do wind up with a draw, it will depend on how we play.
Yeah.
It will depend on how we play because it's not necessarily only about how the result wound up. If we looked better, because that's ultimately all I care about for the season. Is I care about the team looking better than it did last year, and especially towards the end of last year. That's all I care about. So if we wind up with a draw, but we look okay, that's a good start to a season. Because Wolves were tough, and they're tough for everybody. I'm surprised that Maguire isn't part of UEFA Best Players shortlist with Ronaldo, Messi instead of Van Dijk. No, exactly, George.
I think it's because they want a fair vote.
Yes, no, because Harry Maguire would easily
because
win
Messi or Ronaldo, who's better? But if you include Harry Maguire there, no question.
Yeah, no, just the
100% of the votes.
His head would literally not be able to be contained inside of the building. Exactly. So, I mean, what are we even talking about here? Draw is a bad result. Winning is all that matters. We're Manchester United. And George, listen, I agree. Winning is all that matters. But if you told me going into this match that we were going to get a draw and we were going to play well, I would take that. Especially considering what happened at the Molineux last year against Wolves. That's all I'm saying. It's not that I would want to see it, but I would take it. So, anyways, guys, I think 51 minutes in, I think it's a good place to wrap this up. So, Matthew, how does it feel to be in Arizona still?
Warm?
Yep. Are you sure it's just not because of the lights?
That too. I mean, we've got the fan on. Can't feel that.
No.
Can't feel that at all. I remember pulling up to the garage. This is at 10 p.m. or something like that. Should be cold. Should be less warm. Step outside, my face nearly melts off.
I can confirm his face did nearly melt off. If we did not rush him inside,
got a prosthetic face at the moment.
It's true.
That's why I look so good.
Sir Lee Grant. No, exactly. If you put Sir Lee Grant inside of a vote for best player, it's obvious he wins.
Yep.
It's not even a question he wins. Lads, always a pleasure. Everyone here is effectively in your bedroom. Matthew, how does it feel? Matthew, tell me, how does it feel to have that we had up to 18 people at one point in their bedroom?
What? I thought I was going to wake up in the first night and have hallucinations of ladies and gentlemen, we are live, because I'm literally facing here as I sleep.
It's true. The bed's right there.
Yeah.
It's true. Anyways, guys, we're wrapping it up there. Listen, genuinely, thank you to everybody that joined us. I mean, we genuinely appreciate all of your guys' just support, love, your comments in the live comments. You guys, when you join us live, it means everything to us. And if you can't join us live, please leave a comment below. We love to interact with you guys. I love to interact with you guys. Just please, just know how much I have gratitude towards you guys, because without you guys, it would just be me talking to a camera. That's all it would be.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is a bit sad. But just genuinely thank you guys. Matthew, I mean, you're live. You can literally point out what you do.
I can literally point at the stuff. Marcus Rashford posted, that night in Paris poster. Arthur poster. Every poster on earth.
Pulisic poster.
Pulisic poster you can't even see.
Hand of God poster.
It's my room.
It is your room.
You should be paying rent to stream in here.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Actually, you know what? Real quick, we have a late joining guest with us. Arthur, come here, Bubs. Come on.
Way.
Hey, good boy. Good boy. Mwah. You guys got yourself a little bit of Arthur. The only thing you missed today was a little bit of Olivia, and maybe we'll get Olivia on the review. Let's see what we could do. But guys, just genuinely thank you to everybody that joined us. Follow Matthew on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. It's all in the description below. And I really do hope that you all have a great night, a great day, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. Keep doing you, because I love you. Matthew loves you.
Yeah.
Arthur loves you. And you guys are awesome. Have a great night.